Charlotte's Web. Fern Arable is a girl who lives on a farm. One day, she learns that a piglet is going to be killed, so she saves it and names him Wilbur. She decides to keep Wilbur as her own. As Wilbur gets bigger, Fern has to sell it to her uncle, Mr. Zuckerman. Wilbur is happy with his new home, but he feels lonely without company. Charlotte, a spider living on a web above Wilbur's pen, offers to be his friend. Wilbur's happiness ends when one day he realizes that he's going to be killed before Christmas. The animals come up with a plan. Charlotte will weave words into her web, while others, especially Templeton the barn rat, will help think up what words to web. They write messages that say some pig, terrific, and radiant. Word spreads and many people come to witness the miracle. The Zuckermans decide to take Wilbur to a fair for a competition.
Hi everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Kat.
I'm Chickling.
And today we are doing a literature article, a summary of a book that is very well loved, and I remember it from my childhood. It is called Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's by E.B. White. It's a very classic children's book.
Okay.
Yeah. So have you ever read it before?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, it's very popular with American kids, I think. Like it's probably when you start reading like chapter books, it's probably one of the first books you'll read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's a very classic story. So it's about essentially a spider and a pig. And as you said to me earlier, not a spider pig.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so let's start out with the story. Fern Arable is a girl who lives on a farm. Fern Arable. Arable is a funny last name for me because it means land that you can farm, and she lives on a farm.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fern, okay, 这是一个女孩子的名字. It's a little girl's name, right?
Yeah, Fern.
然后 Fern, 她是住在一个农场的女孩哦. What happens next?
Well, she lives on a farm, right? So there's lots of animals on this farm. One day, she learns that a piglet is going to be killed. So she saves it and names him Wilbur. So a piglet is a baby pig. And as I remember from the story, Wilbur is a runt, which means he is the smallest one in his group. And that means that he has the least chance of surviving. And often runts will be killed if the people don't think that they have a chance of surviving. And that doesn't happen so much anymore, but back then I guess it would have been, yeah. So she saved him because he's a little guy and he needs more care. So this is on one day, which is like a day in the past, a little while ago, not very recent. She saved this little piglet named Wilbur.
Oh, so one day 就是某一天，那 piglet 就是小猪哦，所以有一天这个 Fern 啊，他知道这个小猪要被杀掉，就把它救起来，然后就把它取名成 Wilbur. That's a cute name for a pig.
I think so too. She decides to keep Wilbur as her own. As Wilbur gets bigger, Fern has to sell it to her uncle, Mr. Zuckerman.
OK， 所以后来呢，他自己把他救起来，就决定留着那个 Wilbur。然后后来小猪长大了，他就不得已要把这个小猪卖给他的叔叔。那他叔叔的名字，我们等下会开始叫他 Mr. Zuckerman 这个人。
That's right. So she sells Wilbur to her uncle because she can't keep him in the house because he's a big pig. Wilbur is happy with his new home, but he feels lonely without company. Yeah, so he's used to having Fern around. Fern is his mama, his friend, and without any company, he feels kind of lonely. Company is being with other people or, the state or condition of being with another person. So when you say you're in good company, it means you're with people or with, maybe animals or others who make you feel good, who you really like being with. Bad company means that person you really don't like being around them. Or you can use the phrase keep somebody company, which means to be with them and make sure they have a person around. So for an example, Theo is really good company. We always find lots of great things to discuss together.
So company 就是作伴的意思哦。So to keep someone company 就是去陪伴某一个人。比如说 my dogs keep me company， 或者是你很享受自己独处的时间，你也可以说 I enjoy my own company。那么 company 这一个字呢，也可以当公司的意思。比如说 the new company policy has been in effect for 2 months， 就是这一个公司的新政策已经实施了2个月了。好，那我们也看到今天的 language and focus， 我们来看一下今天的 without doing something 跟 without 加上名词怎么用的。Without 是介系词，代表没有的意思哦，用来表示否定。那我们通常可以在后面加上名词跟 VING 来当副词片语去修饰前面的动词哦。Wilbur is happy with his new home, but he feels lonely without company. 这一句就是这样。那我们看另外一句类似的 Sarah reached the top of the mountain without using a map.So without 后面加上名词，当成形容词片语来修饰前面的名词也是可以的哦。比如说 working without a plan is sailing without a compass， 所以意思就是说呢，工作的时候没有一个计划，就是去航行的时候没有指北针的意思，就是要有一个计划的意思哦。好，那我们刚刚那个文章中讲到的 Wilbur is happy with his new home, but he feels lonely without company， 那就代表说 Wilbur 对他的新家很满意哦，不过没有陪伴他很孤独。
Okay, so Wilbur is feeling lonely. He doesn't have any company because Fern is back at her house and she's not there. Charlotte, a spider living on a web above Wilbur's pen, offers to be his friend. So Charlotte is the spider. She's the one the book is named after, Charlotte's Web. Web is a net made from silk threads that are woven together by a spider. It's where spiders live. Most spiders make webs. If you see a spider kind of like hanging in the air on a thing that is made out of little tiny strings, that's its web. So for an example, there is a large spider web in the corner of the dusty old room.
好 web 就是蜘蛛网，那当动词就是有织网的意思，也有网路的意思，所以你可以说 surfing the web， 上网的意思。那么 Charlotte 是谁呢？她是一只生活在 Wilbur 猪圈上方的蜘蛛，她就主动提出要成为他的好朋友。
Yeah, so Charlotte offers to be his friend, and she turns out to be a very good friend. But, apparently, all is not well. Wilbur's happiness ends when one day he realizes that he's going to be killed before Christmas. So he's going to be the Christmas pig. Oh no. So his happiness ends. And happiness is an emotion. You have happy, the adjective, and then you add NESS, but you take the Y and turn it into an I, so that you get HAPPINESS, the state of being happy. So you have other adjectives like this, like silly becomes silliness, funny becomes funniness, pretty becomes prettiness. They all change the Y into an I.
所以当 Wilbur 有一天意识到自己将在圣诞节前被杀的时候，他的快乐时光便终止了。
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy either if I found out that they were going to kill and eat me for Christmas. That would be really bad. But all is not lost. The animals come up with a plan. Charlotte will weave words into her web, while others, especially Templeton the barn rat, will help think up what words to web. So here we have this word weave. She will weave words into her web. So to weave usually is talking about taking string and putting it over each other to make fabric or something like that, or make a blanket. But to weave can also mean to spin a cocoon or a web. Like if you have like silkworms that can spin little silk cocoons, or spiders spin webs and the thread comes from their own bodies. So for an example, as part of a science project, students have to observe how a moth weaves its cocoon.
Weave 就是编网的意思哦，那它的三态是 weave, wove, woven， 所以就是把什么东西织进去，就是 weave something into something， 所以 weaver 就是织布工的意思。Textile weavers receive low wages in the rural areas， 就是农村地区纺织工的工资很低哦。
So, if you have something that is woven into a web, that means that maybe the web has some kind of special pattern in it. It will have some kind of special word. And so, Charlotte is weaving words into the web. And who is helping? We have Templeton the barn rat. Now, a rat is like a big mouse, but he lives in a barn. And a barn is a building on a farm that's used for storing grain and for hay and for housing farm animals or equipment. So if you think of like the typical big red building on a farm, that's usually a barn. That's where cows will sleep, pigs will sleep, all sorts of other animals. So for an example sentence, please put the cows inside the barn for tonight since the weather will be cold.
所以 barn 就是谷仓的意思哦。那 think up something 就是想出，所以动物们想出了一个计划。Charlotte 在她的网上织出文字，而其他的动物呢，尤其是谷仓老鼠啊，它就是帮忙要想出该织出什么样的文字哦。
All right, so what words do they think of? They write messages that say, some pig, terrific, and radiant. Oh, those are all very complimentary kind of words. When you call somebody terrific, it means causing a feeling of surprise or wonder, or just generally extremely good. When something is terrific, like if you're having a terrific day, you're having an extremely good day. It actually used to mean the opposite. Terrific used to mean really, really scary, but now it means extremely good. So, for an example, we had a terrific time at the beach. We swam, ate barbecue, and played games. And then you have this other word here, radiant. Radiant means, well, literally it means bright and shining, like the sun. So the sun is radiant. But it can mean more like having a quality of happiness or love or health that makes you attractive to other people. If you're a radiant person, or in this case, a radiant pig, it means people love to be around you. They think that you are kind of like, well, I guess a 开心果 would be the Chinese term, if you are radiant.
So terrific 就是非常好的意思哦。那它就是比如说你做了一个很好的你的行为很好，就可以说 you did a terrific job， 或者是一个 terrific opportunity， 都是极好的。那么极度的副词就是 terrifically 或者是 extremely， 所以我可以说 this football match is terrifically exciting。或者是 radiant， 老师刚刚讲就是容光焕发的意思哦，所以他们就写下了非凡珠、了不起、光彩夺目等等这些文字，很厉害。
All right, so if we say, well, they say that Wilbur is terrific. They say he's radiant, and she weaves these words into her web. They also say he's some pig, which is the one I remember from this story. When they say some pig or, wow, that's some rain cloud, something like that, it's just basically saying, wow, that's really cool. That's an amazing pig, an amazing whatever it is. Some pig, that's pretty cool. So Charlotte weaves these words into her web, and the people can read them. So word spreads, and many people come to witness the miracle. So this is what people consider a miracle. A miracle is a very amazing or unusual event or achievement. Sometimes people think of it as like an impossible thing that is made possible because of the power of a god or something like that. So because spiders usually can't write, people would think of this as like, wow, it's impossible. It's amazing that this could actually happen, that this actually did happen. So it's considered a miracle. Another example, it's a miracle that I was able to pay for my house this month as I didn't make very much money. So in other words, like the person didn't think they'd be able to pay for their house, but somehow they could. The impossible became possible.
OK， 所以呢 witness 就是看到或目击哦，这边是动词哦。那么 miracle 就是奇迹的意思，所以我们会说 miraculous， 很奇迹般的事情。所以比如说 she made a miraculous recovery from her injury， 所以可能原来觉得不会好了，但是突然奇迹似的好了。所以消息传开之后呢，很多人都来见证奇迹了，哇。
So a miraculous event or a miracle when these words appear in Charlotte's Web, the Zuckermans decide to take Wilbur to a fair for a competition. So not only the web is getting people's attention, but Wilbur's also getting their attention because, he's the pig they're talking about. They think he's really cool. And he's, kind of dancing around and showing off. And he's like, I'm a cool pig. You can't eat me. You don't want to eat me. So that's how they have the plan to save his life. And now they're going to take him for a competition.
所以 competition 就是比赛或竞赛的意思哦。那它是名词，动词是 compete， 所以 to compete with someone or something 就是跟谁竞赛。所以比如说 we have to compete with several larger companies。 所以 Zuckerman 一家决定带 Wilbur 去市集参加比赛，因为他们太厉害了。
Yeah, so they're going to go to the fair. And, the fair is where they show off a lot of farm animals and stuff like that. So we'll see how he does in day 2. So for now, that means we've got our For You chat question. Do you think the animal's plan to save Wilbur is a good one? Why or why not?
Well, I think it was. Because it's a good one because I think friends should always help each other.
Yeah, friends true friends would definitely help you out, and especially if they heard that you were in danger.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's kind of amazing that Charlotte knows how to write. And
yeah, I know. So cute.
She knows how to write, and she can write words in her web by using her spinners. And it obviously makes people stop and look at Wilbur and not eat him for Christmas. So, it's a pretty good plan because it worked. Yeah, So that's what I think. So we're going to continue with the story in day 2. We'll see how Wilbur does at the fair. And that means we'll be with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Company. Many people felt lonely and wished for some company during COVID-19. Web. Look out for the webs in the corner when you are sweeping the floor. Make sure to clean those up. Weave. A spider weaved a trap between the leaves to catch some insects. Barn. Our family used to keep cows in the barn, but now we only have farming tools in there. Terrific. Stacy had a terrific meal at the new Italian restaurant and planned to go there again soon. Miracle. Doctors thought it was a miracle that Kathy recovered from such a serious disease.
智慧小补帖
Piglet. Radiant. Witness. Competition.